Um, I want to talk about, we're kind of at an interesting time. The purpose of the Pack Kid Flashback is to reconnect with folks that have been a Pack Kid to find out what they're doing now and what the Pack meant to them, why the Pack should be important to students now. But at the same time, um, we're in this Black Lives Matter moment as a nation. And I think I've had a few conversations with others. I think everyone's experience with dealing with racism is informed by their own experience. There's no way around that.
I grew up on base, which was amazing because really, you don't even see color. You have people who are Latino, you have people that are Black, white, Korean, Japanese, all kinds of stuff. So it was great.
And one of my experiences at North was, for example, nobody told racist jokes.
Right.
North Hart. You just didn't. You did not go there because you might think you were talking to someone who was of one ethnicity, but because it's military families, you don't know what the mom is.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
You could not judge someone by the color of their skin. As far as where they came from and how they might be offended. So you just didn't do those kind of jokes. You just didn't.
Right. And so that's literally the culture I grew up in. And I think, it's terrible, but it's when I was at JTA, I really.
Now you're talking and again, we haven't really done a good introduction. You are Brittany Froedge.
Yes.
And you are at JTA now.
Well, or no, I'm in North Middle now.
You're North Middle now.
But I meant, as a student. I went to JTA.
Okay, as a student. Because now you're a teacher.
Yes, now I'm a teacher. So it's like, this whole thing causes you to go back and think through your, educational experiences as a kid, as a student, and then really even as, a teacher now. And the biggest thing is, during that time period, I grew up in a military surrounding. And when I got there, I didn't really think about race that much. And, I realized, I think that my experiences, I had this instance where a friend got in trouble for dating. She was, Caucasian. She got in trouble for dating a Black guy. And, I had a teacher that, basically told her to suck it up and do what her dad wanted. And in that, I realized that there are some people they're not overt racists, and I don't even think that they consider it racism when they're telling, their children not to date people outside of their color. And that is racism. And I don't think they realize that, but I did then. And it struck me in a different way because, I am of two races. My dad is African-American and my mom is Korean. So, in that moment when this kid told me, my parents told me that if you do mix outside of your race that, your kid will be confused of what they are. Now, I'm sitting here like, oh, I'm confused about what I am because what I know I am is an honor student, and I am highly, talented on the piano. I made all district on my clarinet, so I feel like I know what I am. But this kid saying that, he was so convinced, like in his mind, he had learned what his parents had taught him, and that was the truth. And, I can't say that he hasn't taught his children that because now he's my age and he has children. And is he going to pass that on? I don't know. Is he going to tell his children to follow that same suit? I don't know. So now I'm, fast forward, I'm at North Middle School as a teacher. And I can just tell you, like, with the musical side, with instrumental music, you can tell differences in what people have at home.
What did the Pack mean to you as a student? And how has that changed as an adult and as an educator now?
I think the Pack is incredible for, existing. It was built while I was here. So I grew up on Fort Knox where they did have a Pack, but it got taken down, right? And then 9/11 happened, which was terrible. But we used to go to shows and different things. It was, we were always watching, or I was at least always watching shows and watching productions on stage. And I thought it was just so cool how people are working together to create a mood or get you to feel a message or, you know, like just entertainment all around. It was great, you know. And then when the pack was built, we got to go to shows as well. And I just thought it was amazing. Like I thought I was going to be in the New York pit. Like I thought I was going to be playing on Broadway, playing my little clarinet. Like I thought, but I mean, it really opened my eyes to what teamwork is, and putting on what's on stage. You know, even as an 8th grader, I got to go to a North Hardin High School concert, and Chuck Campbell was the director, and they played a piece that was commemorating 9/11, and I thought that was huge. Like just watching that. So I'm very thankful for my time with Hardin County that I was able to teach on the north end and really help those students see the world.
Yeah.
And hopefully get out there and take no prisoners in it. Really is.
Thank you, Brittany.
No problem. Well, you take care, Bart.
Hey. Hello and welcome to the Monthly Marquee. I'm your host, Bart Lovins, Director for Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center. And joining me in the second row is Miss Sarah Vaughn with the State Theater. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
We have a new set. It's
I like
kind of a work in progress right now.
Feels like home.
Yeah, exactly. I feel very comfortable sitting here. This is much better than the hacienda.
Exactly.
Well, I know things are, for you like for us, very fluid. And things are changing. You know, I think a lot of times when we get together to talk, it's like, what do I have that's new? It's the same thing I talked about last week or last month. And things are changing very quickly. You've had some changes in your programming since the last time we spoke.
Yes. So we started out in June when they opened the movie theater. When they offered those guidelines, we were able to at least start offering summer movies, which was great. So we started doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and very quickly tapered off of Mondays because it's just not a very good day. I mean, it's Monday. People want to, even if they're not working still right now, it's Monday, you know. So right now we are continuing with the Wednesday at 11 a.m. and then Friday 11 and 7. And so we've seen these silver linings within COVID, and one of the silver linings for us is that they are selling movie rights at a very cheap cost.
Oh.
So we're able to show a lot of great titles for a quarter of what we used to have to pay for them.
Wow.
Yeah. So so that's the other reason we're doing 2 different movies a week, because we can actually afford to do that. The concessions that come in for the movie pay for the rights, and then of course if we get a sponsor, it's even better. So so that's been great. Some movies we'll see anywhere from 30 people to 75. It just depends. The other silver lining, even though we're at basically a third capacity, that's still only, I don't know, 212 seats or something like that, 215 seats, which if we get 215 people to come to, especially a daytime movie, that would be huge for us.
Yeah.
Maybe not the other large movie theaters where that's their bread and butter, but for us that would be huge. So we're great with the capacity. We, of course, had to put forth all of our social distancing. If you've ever been in the lobby of the State Theater, then you'll know that that's pretty difficult to do on a not packed day. But people are adhering to that. They're looking at our gaff tape on the floor, and they're following by the guidelines. We have masks available if anyone wants them. All of the staff, of course, is wearing them. We're disinfecting as much more than we ever really have before, especially between showings and things like that. So yeah, it's been really great in offering those and seeing people come in. We definitely see a lot of grandparents that have got the kids. I know from a mom experience here, my kids have been at their grandparents' house since March. They're getting a little stir crazy.
Just a bit.
So.
And with things like the pools not being open.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's being able to offer it. It has been it's been great feeling from the State Theater and the city's standpoint, just to be able to offer something. We're doing the movies at $1 each, so it's very affordable to come out. And we even had a sponsor who paid for even the $1 entry, so it's been really great. We are, of course, with our rental side of things, we're adhering to all the guidelines with the number of people. So right now we're at max 50, I believe, 50 or less. So if you want a rental for a party or anything like that, you have to stay within those guidelines. So our rentals are increasing very slowly, but they are increasing. And, we have a lot of people call in and they have hope, as we all do, but we're all sitting there at the same exact level of not knowing what it's going to look like in 3 weeks and 3 days and 3 minutes. And so
right now we would be in the middle of youth theater. Youth theater would be opening this coming weekend.
That's crazy.
And to not have them in the space, there's a lull in the energy of the building when you don't have that going on.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to all of us having less lull in the future.
Exactly. Being a lot more tired right now.
If people want to find out more, how do they get a hold of you guys?
They can check us out at thestate270.org. Give us a call. All of that's on there. And then we are, of course, very active on social media. Just check out Historic State Theater.
Great. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks.
Next up on the Monthly Marquee, please welcome Carmen Caldera-Bratska with the Elizabethtown Performing Arts Center. Carmen, how are you, dear?
I am good. How are you?
Good. Staying well. And you?
Doing my best to stay well.
Well, yeah, that goes right to the point of what we were talking about to discuss today.
Yes.
It is all about staying well.
It is.
And that means rethinking and replanning and adjusting.
Yes, yes.
Right now, we're sharing you're doing your technical workshops?
Yes. We've been doing, each summer we do theater workshops for students in the E-Town school system that want to register. And we finished our high school acting workshop and our middle school acting workshop, and now we are in the middle of our technical theater workshop, and having a lot of fun with that.
And explain just a little bit. I'm sure people are hearing you say that and going, how are they doing that?
Right. First of all, lots of webinars. Educational Theater Association has been a wealth of knowledge of learning how to teach theater online. And so we've done a lot of improvisation, a lot of games that we have changed to do on camera, which is also teaching them on camera work, which is something that we don't usually do in school theater workshops. But getting them to understand that they need to be sure, from the waist up is pictured and that their face is centered and cameras in focus and silence in the background and all those kind of things that you have to think about that you don't have to think about when you're on stage.
Right. Someone else is taking care of them.
Exactly. So they've learned those kind of things. And then we've also done some monologue work and talked about self-taping auditions, which is where auditions have gone to even before COVID.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Very much before COVID.
We've been doing our video submissions for our auditions for, 2 or 3 years now, I think.
Right, and Governor's School for the Arts has been doing video auditions for years. And colleges and scholarship committees do the same thing because it's just easier. It's a lot easier than getting a space and having to process all these people. So it's a good skill that they need to learn anyway. So we've kind of been focusing on all the positives that we can get out of that. And then for technical theater, I've broken it up into days and topics like I normally would, and focused a lot on interviews with professionals in those particular...
So interview skills?
No, watching interviews.
I'm so sorry.
Yes, watching interviews of like the makeup artist from Wicked.
Okay.
Or the set designer for Hamilton, and them talking about their process. Because usually when I do these workshops in person, we talk about my process. Because we're in person, so we just talk about what I do. But this way they're getting, like I watched 20 different set designers and every single one of them did stuff differently. Yeah. Where they get their inspiration or how they create the set or what they, how they interact with the lighting designer or the director. So I think they're going to get a much more broader worldview than they would have in the past when it was, just me talking and, let's do projects. And then each day we're doing a Zoom where we go back and we talk about
share
all of the videos and what did you notice and what questions do you have. And then there's some projects too. They're going to design some costumes and design a set and learn how to dissect script and all that kind of stuff. So.
And how many students have you had involved so far?
Let's see. I've had about 6 to 8 in each workshop, which is more than I have in person usually.
Wow.
So, because there's so much going on in the summer.
Yeah.
It's hard because we usually do a 4-hour workshop in the summer, right in the middle of the day for an entire week. And a lot of kids can't do that. They can't get there because of parents working, and parents can't take off at 10 o'clock in the morning to run their kid to the EPAC and pick them up at 2. That's in the middle of their workday.
Yeah.
So online has also opened the door for a lot of students who had wanted to do these workshops in the past and couldn't. And we've done it for free. We usually charge for the in-person because I provide materials and all that kind of stuff. So we did it free. And that has opened the door to people who have not done it before. So that's been good.
Good. And when is the technical workshop?
It's going on right now.
So by the time this airs, that will have been done.
Yes.
What does the future like? What are the next opportunities down the road? Understanding that things are very fluid and that there's a lot of unknowns ahead of us.
Right. Right now, as far as performances in the EPAC, we are on hold. There's still too much that they're still trying to figure out.
Yep.
This is a very new, I call it an infant virus. There's no way that we can know much of anything about it yet, and that's why guidelines keep changing and information keeps changing, and do this, don't do this keeps changing. So until we are solid that we can keep our young performers safe, we're not going to do it.
And there you have it.
And there you have it. It's just, it is just that simple. Yeah. We've had a couple of meetings in the space and have some more scheduled, and we're taking all the precautions. Seats have been roped off and marked in the seats that you can sit in. Temperatures are taken, forms are filled out for contact tracing purposes. The stage is social distanced for whatever setup we have each time. So we're doing all that we can, to protect the people when they do come. And that's where we are.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Our next guest on the Monthly Marquee, representing Hardin County Playhouse, is Miss Carrie Lewis. Carrie, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
We are in intermission, my friend.
Right.
And this is the longest darn intermission
it is.
I've ever experienced in my life.
And no popcorn.
And no popcorn.
That's right. So, absolutely. We were hoping, that we would have some kind of indication of a starting point. Right now, we're still kind of waiting, like everybody else, to see what kind of guidelines are going to be proposed for, any type of live performance. If there'll be anything we can do. I don't think we would have any issues with, social distancing in our auditorium. Or even keeping sanitary, taking those sanitary measures, but just not really sure about, especially in a small space, small theater space, how it would be as far as, singing and speaking and all those kind of things. So we're kind of waiting. We could do silent movies with the mask on. Just have subtitles, maybe.
Pantomime.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Because everyone loves pantomime.
They love it. They love it. There's so much room for interpretation, so creative, and some of the people that are doing yoga right now, that would be fun for them, I think. But yeah, we're just still kind of waiting to see what happens. Tentatively, we had the 2 plans that we would be starting with Death Trap in October, and that would require auditions in sometime in August. Early September for that, and so we're still waiting. Otherwise, we were thinking, well, we'll start in December with Elf, the musical, which we're really looking forward to doing. I think that would be a great show for us. Had a lot of people just begging, no matter what, we've got to find a way to do it, and I'm not exactly sure how we would, but it's still there. We're still waiting, still hopeful, and just kind of ready to go, kind of like the horses in the gates. Getting a little nervous.
Yes, yeah.
So,
clomping at the dirt.
Right.
Yeah.
We're still hoping to do Ghost Walk. That's an outdoor event. That would be, I think we would have 2 Saturday evenings for that with our players. And that's always good, spooky fun, I don't know if we could be any scarier than what things are right now, but we could try.
It would be an escape.
It would be an escape.
It would, yeah.
And I think right now, the reality is fairly crushing for most of us, especially the uncertainty of everything, and everybody kind of sitting with that anxiety, waiting at the gate for things to open back up and to feel more of a sense of normal communication again. And I think, you know, a lot of folks that I speak with are really missing the camaraderie of groups of people and the events that we have. There's an emotional need for that. And theater always feels that, and certainly a lot of the other events that we have in this beautiful little town takes care of those feelings as well. So that helps in the feeling of community, because even folks who are, you know, going back to work and they're busy and stuff tend to feel like they're isolated, you know, because this is a very isolating time, you know, both with, you know, the health things going on and a lot of the political issues at hand. It's just a very unnerving time, and I think if theater had been in motion, everything would be better. But that's
well, there's a lot to be said for the gift of theater. To I lean into the empathetic qualities of theater. It's through theater that we understand others. It's through theater that we express who and what we believe in, our feelings. I also think it's a mirror to our society. It's a way for us to look at the society separated from the emotion of the moment of reality, so that we can, I think like Rod Serling was excellent, you know, with Twilight Zone and stuff. He had a real knack for doing that, to go, look at this. This is what is this who we are? Yeah. Let's think about this a second. Right. And I think theater is so much a part of our human need to gather and share.
Right, exactly. And it's also a way that people can, you know, when you're sitting there in a theater, even if it's something that's kind of marginally offensive to you or kind of makes you bristle just a little bit, it's something you're going to have to think about, because it's not like in your face conflict. It's something that you're observing and that you're feeling, and you have time to think about it. And I think that we need time to think about things rather than just react emotionally and question ourselves. And theater, like you said, provides all of that. So,
well, speaking of providing, I know that you are all at Hardin County Playhouse still in the process of raising funds for a space of your own.
Right.
Where do things stand there? I know I'm getting ready to do a recording of a PSA for ourselves to ask for help when we open.
Right.
There are needs that we are going to have technically, things that we have to build, things that we have to buy in order to be able to reopen again.
Right.
And we're getting ready to ask for some help from the community to do that. And it's a difficult time to ask for assistance when so many people are in need.
Exactly. And that certainly is, you know, something that we're facing now. Not only is the distancing and the slow reopening, it makes it difficult to communicate. But as things are so critical right now, people are not looking at theater as a critical something. And a lot of businesses and a lot of people, investors, people that have money, are being very cautious right now. So it is hard to ask for funds. It's still something we hope to do. And I think in the very big picture, long run of things, I think that having a local community theater here right in downtown Elizabethtown would be a great thing, not only for the public and the community, but for our local businesses, that it would really be an asset. You can visit our website, which we are currently, you know, doing a little bit of reconstruction on that, you know, keeping it updated and so forth. And that's HardinCountyPlayhouse.com. We're on social media, Hardin County Playhouse, A New Beginning, which is about our fundraising, and as well as our volunteer page and our regular Facebook page. Kind of keeps everybody in the loop what's going on, which not a whole lot is going on right now. But, you know, we certainly, you know, if anybody has any suggestions or ideas or wants to be a part of it, we'd love to welcome you into that. And we're hoping that as this winds down, instead of winding up, we're hoping as it winds down that we can start focusing on our big goals and the more positive things we have. And we have a wonderful community in which to do that. So,
thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
'Cause you got to love it, yeah. So, time. 'Cause I'm moving on the groove. 'Cause you got to love it, yeah. So, time. 'Cause I'm moving on the groove.
We're eager to welcome family and friends back to the PAC soon. When we do, part of our new normal will include a technological leap forward. Due to the pandemic, we anticipate seating limitations, audience anxieties, and field trip eliminations this coming season. These factors mean that many patrons and students may not attend PAC events as frequently as they have in the past. Thanks to the input from nearly 500 teachers and patrons through a survey conducted this spring, we learned that a vast majority of you could make use of PAC content provided through a private link for your household or your classroom. The PAC is therefore working with HCEC-TV, the copyright holders of various plays and musicals, and touring groups like Kentucky Shakespeare, to determine how we might be able to bring you that content as reliably, legally, and economically as possible. This is an exciting and challenging undertaking, involving reconsideration and research of everything from cameras we use and the software that runs them to the lighting and staging of performances. Understandably, we don't yet have all of the answers, but once we do, we'll be sure and let you know. So, stay tuned. I don't know what we'd do without you. 3 months ago, the world changed. It's still changing. And just like the rest of the world, I had to adjust, adapt, and change. That's why I'm so thankful to have supporters like you. The one constant I knew I could count on. It has meant the world to hear from so many of you during all of this. Your kind words, suggestions, expressions of support have encouraged the staff and me to keep pushing ahead. Since mid-March, the PAC staff and I have been busy crossing things off of our dusty to-do list. Things like repairing the stage floor, cleaning out filing cabinets, curating online arts resources, and staying in touch with all of you as much as possible through social media and surveys designed to help us serve you better when we all come back to the PAC. Speaking of which, as I'm telling you this, the PAC is about to embark on a soft reopening so that rehearsals can once again take place on stage. As you can imagine, this is both scary and exciting. For although I've developed several possible scenarios to help us navigate the uncharted territory that lies ahead, the only certain thing that I have discovered is that ensuring the safety of our performers and patrons will come at a price. One example, touchless ticket scanners will cost us over $5,000. So, if you are in a position to make a charitable gift, please do so knowing that your contribution will make it possible for my staff and me to welcome you back to the PAC as soon as we safely can. Until that time, thanks again for your constant support. I don't know what we'd do without you.